All right, video number 4 for today. I am excited. Uh, Smart versus being able. No. Goals as a creation, not as a representation. No. Detaching from your emotion is separating yourself from your mind. Let's do that. Detaching from your emotion is separating yourself from your mind. I think we can piggyback on the last three videos. Last three videos were more vibing towards the last two videos was were more vibing towards like insecurities. So, and I discussed how basically the only time you kind of like get out of the day you get out of your shits is the day you realize you're in shits. Because I don't know, just if you're taking a shower and somebody comes to you and be like, "Hey, stop using that water because it's dirty," do you still go use that water? If you trust them, no. I think that's the easiest way for us to kind of like get over the shit that we're in, is to understand fully like that we're in shit. Because when that happens, all the other stuff that we normally do, we just kind of like step back, right? This is the phase. Have I been doing that? Really? But, anyways, so detaching from your emotion is separating yourself from your mind. Uh, why? Because the first thing okay, so like I look at the body and the mind as two partners with me. Because there's me, myself, and I. And a couple of hundred videos ago, I love it. I said a couple of hundred videos ago, which means I've been like active, baby. But a couple of hundred videos ago, I was able, I explained on many occasions, and I included it in the process of me engaging with you guys, that the mind is not really pertaining us. It's uh, it's a separate entity that we are able to kind of create, and normally the environment creates it. Meet Smurf, he really wants to get pets. It's gonna be a struggle. But yeah, so the mind is not really us, man. It's something that talks to us. And the same formula is applied to the body. The mind speaks to us with the language that they learned from us and from our environment. They know danger, right? The mind knows happiness, knows danger, knows yes, knows no, knows thoughts, knows computer science if you're into computer science, knows business if you're into business. Whatever you feed it, it takes it and it applies it to everything that it has. Concepts, ideas, creations, you just kind of like drop it in. And I think the mind is the basis of our intuition. I think the mind could be used as the base of our intuition. But like, it's our intention that builds the intuition, because I have to decide I like doing this. So suddenly my mind hears, it goes like, oh, that's what you like. Okay, you start doing this. And when it comes to the body, how does the body communicate with us? Feelings, emotions are created when feelings are not really understood. And I think emotions are a mix between the environment, what's happening, and how you're feeling towards it, and emotion comes up. That's definitely my theory. I think chemically it works. I think the way our genetics are work, I for me, that's basically my personal philosophy. Because how would your body communicate with you if not within these feelings? And when it comes to your mind, how would it communicate with you, or how would it get your attention if it doesn't provoke you, your thoughts, your if it doesn't provoke piggyback on these feelings and create emotions? And so this is the ultimate combination for you to kind of see what the fuck's going on. And that's why, like, when somebody says a word, you feel hurt. Why? Because your mind takes it and allocates it to certain things, and suddenly you're like, you explode with like, how could he say that or she say that, or why would they, or yay, that's how they feel, or that's what they said, or that's what's gonna happen. All these kinds of like thoughts and approaches. They're a connection. They're a connection to you. These thoughts are a connection to you, and the responses of your body and the language of your body is a response to you as well. So when we're feeling emotions, and we're normally what happens is we kind of like get into the drive of whatever emotion. If you're feeling love, what's the first thing you do? You start getting excited, you start daydreaming, and you start. How would you handle such an emotion without you kind of like jumping the gun? What happens when you jump the gun? You get shot. You're jumping and the gun is kind of, you're in front. Uh, and so I wrote it as a note because like detaching from your emotion is separating yourself from your mind. How do you do that? Literally be the third person. People talk about it all the fucking time. Just observe your thoughts, right? It's easy. It's easy, but how do you separate yourself from the thoughts? For me, I personally like there's something that I always do, which is literally is like, is this what I'm thinking about now? And the minute I do that, it becomes more entertaining what's happening. And feelings are fucking beautiful, they're precious, right? We always look around and I personally question, like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I engaged with this kind of like, why am I thinking I want to make this phone call? Why am I thinking I want to go to that place? And I don't really start with asking that question because when I realize I want to go someplace, I basically stop and I go like, it seems like that place is attracting me for some reason. And you can always tell when a pattern starts building up in your head. Everyone can. When suddenly there's something that you kind of like feel you're willing to do more of differently, include more, whatever. I don't know how to say this. Any form of addiction, right? It could be any form of addiction, like grabbing your phone. And like all you have to do is notice. In order for you to notice, I don't know, how deep can you zone into shit? How far can you go before you realize that you're being swayed by your emotions and by your thoughts? And what guides you back to the central point? As for me, man, I found it's best to kind of like set what I would want to do in the day before. And as long as it's part of like the desired outcome, everything goes smoothly. But the minute something different starts showing up, that's when I take a step back and I go, like, something is happening that was not kind of like, for some reason, I made a plan yesterday for today, but I don't feel like that's what I want to do now. So I go like, what changed my mind? And then from there, I can either formulate a pattern or kind of realize the decision I made the day before was based on a pattern or something like this. It's amazing. In archery, they call, you know what sin is? In archery, to sin is to miss the mark. Literally, if wherever the mark is, if you miss it, that's you're sinning. And as long as you have certain marks, regardless if they're strong marks or weak marks, man, it doesn't fucking matter. Like established marks. And it's not a goal. It's something that I would want to be moving towards. A goal makes you feel like you have to accomplish it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I really said I wanted to build a website for a year. The day I stopped saying that is the day I finished the website in a month and a half. The minute I stopped, basically, I said I wanted to just get closer to it. You really just let go of a lot of your weight, man. You forget a whole lot of like, it's the pressure that keeps pushing you. And I think there's a certain quote by Winston Churchill that's actually amazing. Uh, I think the context is he got into a cab and he's late for a speech. And he gets in a cab and he looks at the driver. He goes like, "We're late. Drive slowly, please." Because effectively, the guy knew that if you rush, you don't really like get there on time. If you actually have something that needs to be done within a certain time limit, like the last thing you need to do is try to do it fast. Because even if you do it, it's not going to be done properly. Whilst if you take your time, you would have actually built momentum, built experience, built like anything that you need, you could have learned from it, you need to learn from it is something that you actually learned from it. And it's kind of like if you pace yourself, whatever takes time at the beginning won't take time halfway through the end. And if I were to detach myself from my emotions, I really just, all I have to do is just ask the right questions for my mind to kind of like stop and be like, no, because like in your head, your thoughts, they either answer you truthfully based on your own intention, or they don't have an answer. And if they don't have an answer, it's because for a while you probably got bored, or there's something happened that triggered you. So normal things that normally you would like to do come up. All kinds of things could happen. So it's really just a matter of why do we want to do this? For no reason. Sometimes it's good enough. Other times, most times, it's not. Hey man, it's a fucking video, yeah?